So good morning and welcome to everybody. Graduates, please mute your microphones and turn on your cameras so everyone can see your wonderful smiling faces. Feel free to chat during the celebration. And I want to welcome everybody to the 2020 MEM graduation celebration, and especially welcome to the graduates, friends, and family of the MEM class of 2020. My name is Mark Berwath. I am the director of the MEM program, the Master of Engineering Management program here at Northwestern. I'm also an alum of the program from way back in 1987. The MEM program has been in place at Northwestern for more than 40 years. Although there are more than 100 such programs across the world, only a small handful of the best programs belong to the MEMPC consortium, and we are proud to say we are one of the founding members of that consortium, along with such schools as MIT, Duke, Dartmouth, and Cornell. The program agenda for today, and I'm pretty sure we will be done in less than 45 minutes, is shown here. You can download this program through this bit.ly link in UMEM 2020. And along with that are some links to various Zoom sessions that will happen after the ceremony is over. So if you want, as a graduate, to spend time with your favorite professor, they will have separate rooms set up after this session is over, sometime after 9:30. I will have a short speech this morning, followed by an excellent toast from Professor Don McNeeley. We will have a roll call of all graduates based on what quarter they graduated from. Northwestern's MEM it has rolling graduations as well as rolling admissions. We will have student talks from Fizza Jaffer and Jason Lee, representing full-time and part-time student populations. We will have a talk from Jennifer Way from the MEM Advisory Board. She's a recent graduate from about 4 or 5 years ago. Lauren and Abby, our staff for the MEM program, will have some final words, and then I will close out with a charge for the class of 2020. Some statistics. We have about 37 graduates here today. 12 of them are women, 25 are men. We have 4 concentrations in play right now. Five of the students, 5 of the graduates are receiving the project and process management concentration. 5 are receiving the design and innovation concentration. 6 are receiving the managerial analytics concentration. And a new concentration for us effective the end of this year is product management. And we will have 1 student who's graduating with that. So just to make sure our graduates are engaged, I wanted to do a quick poll, and this poll has to do with physical location. I know we're all curious where people are dialing in from, so this poll is going to ask effectively, what continent are you dialing in from at the moment? So if you can, as graduates, take a look, and you should see a poll popping up right now. Please vote in the next 10 to 20 seconds, and we'll get a sense of where everybody is around the world. I thought it made more sense to get real-time data as opposed to looking up your location some other way. So far, everyone seems to be coming from the United States. I don't see anyone coming in from Asia, Europe, or anywhere else. The vast majority seem to be in Chicagoland. I'm going to end the polling right now. Hopefully people can see that. 70% are coming from Chicagoland area. 9% are coming from the Midwest, 13% are coming from the West Coast. I know several of our graduates have gotten jobs out there in the West Coast, including the Seattle, Washington area. And then 9%, 2 of our grads are coming from the East Coast. So thank you. That proves that you're out there and you're paying attention and you're engaged. You are all graduating today into a very turbulent time in the world. From a public health, social, or economic perspective, we all know there is huge uncertainty and risk out there. While these risks will destroy opportunity for some, I assure you, it will create much opportunity for many others. By embracing the field of engineering management, you have chosen to embrace the intersection of the engineering world with the turbulent and high velocity world of business. By embracing this intersection, you, as future engineering managers and leaders, are uniquely positioned to solve some of the world's biggest problems and create some of the most impactful organizations to meet these challenges. While starting and growing enterprises in a recessionary pandemic can be intimidating, I get it, you may be surprised to learn that this is one of the best times to start a business or to design a new product or solution. Let me give you 3 examples of large tech firms that were founded during a recession. The first is GE. General Electric was founded in 1892 by Thomas Edison. If you don't know your history, you'd probably not realize that in 1893, there was a major financial panic, otherwise known as the Panic of 1893. During this panic, business activity dropped by nearly 40%. Think about that, 40% drop in business activity across the entire country. Nevertheless, GE went on to become, as we all know, one of the original companies listed in the Dow Jones Industrial Average starting in 1896, where it remained for over 100 years, okay? Hewlett-Packard was started in 1939. As we all know, that was during the Great Depression. Recent Stanford grads, Bill Hewlett and David Packard, were actually funded by their professor in graduate school. They were given $500 with the charge, go off and quote unquote, start a business. This was the summer of 1939, probably in many people's mind, not the best time to start a business, but guess what? Hewlett-Packard resulted in one of the biggest powerhouses in computing, even to this day, in a very turbulent industry, electronics. 81 years later, they're still going strong. Microsoft was founded in 1975, Bill Gates and Paul Allen at the very tail end of the 1973 recession, which was the worst recession, as some of us remember, in nearly 20 years. The IPO of Microsoft, the IPO, the initial public offering, created 3 billionaires and 12,000 millionaires. Think about that. That was astounding, right? When I read that, I had to read it twice, right? That's a small sampling. I'm sure Professor McNeeley and I can go through a long list, but here's a longer list, right? All of these companies here required significant technical and managerial expertise, and despite their tremendous success, all of these companies were founded during a recession. All of these companies had tremendous positive impacts on society. They've made the world a better place. They've created much prosperity while creating tens, and I would actually say hundreds of thousands of jobs, just these companies on this slide. This list is a mere sample of what has been created during bleak and difficult times. I can tell you of several students of mine just this last spring that have decided to pursue their startup businesses rather than a traditional internship or full-time job. My message to you is don't be afraid to fully leverage your skills in business, in management, and in engineering to change the world for the better and to create jobs and opportunities and solutions for a desperate and troubled world. The world is waiting on you to help make the change that is so obviously needed. Now, I would like to introduce Professor Don McNeeley, CEO and President of Chicago Tube and Iron. He is a distinguished and beloved professor who teaches our capstone course for the entire program and has actually done so for as long as I can remember. Don will give a virtual toast to the MEM graduating class of 2020. Feel free to go into speaker mode if you want to see Professor McNeeley live. Don, take it away.
Director Era, thank you very much for this honor of addressing our graduates today and by extension their family. Some of your opening comments are very insightful, as they always are. I guess the only thing somewhat unnerving for me and perhaps you is the critical points that you reference are history to our students, but they're things that you and I actually had to navigate in the span of our career. So we're now of that age where we can speak from our own intuition. Well, good morning to all. Let me add my voice to this growing chorus of today's congratulations. I'm going to offer you a few words under the umbrella of a toast, but I want you to know that I do so on behalf of all my faculty colleagues that are online with us today. There's an old Chinese proverb that says, may you live in interesting times. I guess we could all check that off the list. But your graduation and reception is certainly not as we scripted it. This was not the original intention. However, in no way does it diminish in any way the impressive achievement of yours. That being your conferral of a graduate degree from a world-renowned university. Graduates, I want you to step back in a big picture. You smile now because you've certainly heard that before for 11 weeks of me pounding it into you. You've made yourself proud, but you've also made others proud. Your mother and father that are with you today and your siblings, sons and daughters are very proud of you today. Your aunts and uncles, spouses, significant others. I even see some kids sticking their head in the background, Hazamet, and others. And I think that's wonderful that your families are celebrating this day. You know, students, there are few things in life better than making someone else proud of you, especially family members. And you've done that. You've absolutely done that. So you've affected more than your own life. You're getting plenty of attention today, so I want to pivot to those others that I just referenced. I'd like to direct some comments to them. To those of you that are family members of the graduate today, your loved one, I want to share with you that perspective of their achievement. There's 7.5 billion people in the world, and only 1 out of every 100 people have a college degree. Only 1 out of 100 in this universe of 7.5 billion people. But people that also achieve, in addition, a graduate degree, you have to go 3 places to the right of the 1% decimal. That is indeed rarefied air that few people exist in. Yet your graduate did it. And not only did they do it, they did it at Northwestern University, one of the nation's largest private research and teaching institutions, consistently ranked in the top 10. And by the way, that's the top 10 of over 3,000 colleges and universities in the United States alone. Our university receives $1 billion every 24 months in research grants. Overall at Northwestern, understand that we receive 40,000 applications a year for only 4,000 seats. 9 out of 10 applicants do not gain admission to Northwestern, but your loved one did. We were founded in 1871. We have 2 campuses. If we had a traditional graduation, you'd be touring our city this weekend. Our main campus is in Evanston. Our satellite campus is in Chicago. Our university has 12 colleges, and all of them are highly regarded. Of course, you've heard of the Kellogg School of Management, the Feinberg School of Medicine, the Medill School of Journalism, and of course, our favorite, the McCormick School of Engineering, and more. Here's the secret recipe of why we're good. Behind your back, professors want to migrate to where the best students exist. Students want to go where the best professors exist. And how do we marry those 2 constituencies? It takes a great administration, an administration that finds a way to put that recipe together. In that regard, not only do I want to recognize our director, who you just heard from, but also Lauren and Abby and George, who do a wonderful job of finding a way to marry us all together and make it easy to teach in this program. And Mr. Tilley, I can't tell you how happy I am to see your face with us today. Understand that while you are still with the university, in your wake, you definitely elevated the professionalism of our program. These are your students. How nice of you to be back celebrating today with us. In your course of study, you hear about the shortage of skills, welders and CNC operators. However, that doesn't keep Professor Weirworth and myself up at night. There's powerful laws of economic supply and demand. And if we have too many lawyers and not enough welders, people will stop going to law school and start going to welding school. Also, we employers have the option to simply automate. But if this current world of health challenges and social unrest has demonstrated anything, it demonstrates the shortage of true leadership. In the last 2 months alone, have you not all seen poor leadership? Have you seen the absence of leadership? You've certainly seen mediocre leadership. And granted, yep, you've seen some great leadership, but that's the smallest category of all. Our world today is in dire need of leadership. Our MEM program develops tomorrow's leaders. Someday will we live where cancer doesn't exist, where planes don't crash? How about bridges that don't fall, cities that don't burn, or children that don't go to bed hungry every night, as 25% of the world does? I wonder sometimes, somewhere in the world, at some university, in some program, perhaps the leadership exists to achieve that. Why not from our corner of the world? Why not from our university? Why not from our MEM program? Why not from this graduation class? In other words, how about you? How about you being that leader that makes a difference in this world in need of leadership? You entered Northwestern's MEM program with an existing toolbox. Those are the skills you learn from your undergraduate education. But with each class at Northwestern's MEM, we added a tool, and your toolbox became heavier and heavier, and now it's full. You're now prepared with the tools to lead. I'd like to close today by telling you, in America, there was a famous hockey player, Wayne Gretzky, who's actually a Canadian. He dominated the sport. Upon his retirement, somebody asked him what his recipe was. What was his differentiation? And he said he stepped back as a young hockey player on the ponds of Canada, and he was smaller in stature than the other players. And he looked at the big picture. And where all the other players skated to where the puck was, he decided to skate to where the puck was going to be. Is that not leadership? Our university has 40 countries represented in our student body, 40 countries. Our MEM is diverse and represents the future of this beautiful, diverse world. Anyone who's ever looked through one of those kaleidoscopes has viewed our program. With this in mind, I want to share with you that I am early generation American, my family heritage from Ireland. And from my Irish heritage, I'd like to share with you the following toast. May the road rise to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face. And graduates, until we meet again, may the Lord hold you in the palm of his hand. God bless your journey. Thank you, Director.
And thank you, Professor McNeeley. Very nice job. Well done.
Thanks.
I hope all of our guests and visitors now understand why MEM is so special. At least one reason is Professor Don McNeeley. He never disappoints with his presentations. So with that, let's move on. I'm going to share my screen once again. I'm going to start with the roll call, and the roll call will start with the graduates of MEM as of December 2019. For those who don't know, we're on the quarter system here. So we have our fall quarter, winter, and spring quarter graduates. I'm going to go through each of those in series. So starting with the fall or December 19 graduates. Oops, I guess I have to end my slideshow and start again here. I apologize. Chabeli Amo Fernandez, full-time student, graduate of MEM December 2019. She started the program in 2018. She completed CSPO training, Certified Scrum Product Owner. She attended the Women in Product Conference in 2019. She's interned at DocuSign, and now she's a full-time product manager at DocuSign based in Seattle, Washington. Congratulations, Chabeli. Yiwei Chen started the program as a full-time student in 2018. She interned at Tesla Motors, right? She currently works as a marketing analyst at Garrett Motion in Shanghai. She also had a concentration in managerial analytics. Congratulations, Yiwei Chen. Zachary Fiskus, part-time student, December 2019 graduate, had a concentration in design and innovation, started the program back in 2015, is currently an electrical engineering associate at Sargent & Lundy based in Chicago. So congratulations, Zachary, well done. Neha Golani, full-time student, December 2019 graduate with a concentration in design and innovation. She started the program back in 2018, was part of the Student Advisory Board as Community Relations Manager in winter 2019. She organized the Swap for Good donation event. While in the program, she also volunteered her time at the Mosaic Co-op, which I believe is based in Evanston, interned at Hewlett Packard, ironically, right? And currently works as a product analyst at Epsilon Economics in Chicago, which is actually run by one of our faculty members, Mohan Rao. So congratulations, Neha. Siddhant Gular is a full-time, or was a full-time student, December 2019 graduate, started the program in 2018, was vice chair on the SAB Student Advisory Board for 3 quarters, was also in the Kellogg Tech Club. He was a product management intern at McKinsey, also is now currently working as a product manager at Ahold Delhaize in Chicago. Congratulations, Siddhant. Fiza Jaffer, full-time student, now graduate, of course, started the program in 2018, was a product management intern at T-Mobile, has a telecom background, was the student representative at the MEMPC, which is our consortium that I mentioned earlier. She voluntarily worked on and hosted the first MEMPC design and pitch competition at MIT. If you were looking at the videos at the beginning, those still photographs, she was showcased there at MIT along with several other students in that contest. She attended the Grace Hopper Conference where she was offered her current job. She's currently working at American Express in New York, recently transitioned to a product owner role, which is very similar to like a product manager role that we have a specialization in with the product team. She's also our student speaker. Fiza will now give the talk representing the full-time students for the class of 2020. Fiza, take it away. I think you need to unmute. There you go.
All right. The same work from home things. All right. Namaste and adab. That's hello in my mother tongue. Professor Verrett, distinguished faculty, Lauren and Abby, parents, families, friends, mentors, and you, my special class of 2020. It's been 6 months since I bid my final goodbyes to you on a frosty December morning. As we embarked on our individual journeys, with hopes in our hearts and dreams in our eyes, blissfully unaware that a global pandemic was awaiting us on the horizon, little did we know that we would reconvene virtually like never before in the history of academia. This momentous day reminds me of many things. Professor McNeeley's loving jibes to Lokesh in one corner of Krebs' classroom. Prerek's tongue-twister-like monologue taking place in another. Rohit and Professor Shafiq's bonding on the marvels of a waterfall chart somewhere in between. Azhar making his way across the room to a safe corner, cutting through a group of people gathered around Jason, who would have their full attention with his humor. And not to forget, Michael's ceremonial scribble on the blackboard, calling for an after party at you know where, the world of beer. All of this taking place as Nurbek's camera catches this madness with his focus lens. Although virtually, I hope you are as elated as me as we gather to celebrate each one of us in ways that will go down in the pages of history. I want you to now close your eyes at this point and relive the moments of uncertainty when you first began MEM. Are your eyes closed? Come on, close them. All right. It's early 2018 and you have finally heard from Stephen Tilley that you have been admitted to Master of Engineering Management program at Northwestern University, the oldest MEM program in the US. Your student loan finally got approved and you have braved the visa officers, sometimes twice like Prerak, to make it here. Imagine the first time you set your eyes on the beautiful Northwestern Weber Arch when your car made its way along Sheridan Road. And you think you're all set to conquer adulthood until that first cooking experiment sets the fire alarm ringing. Oh boy, what a feeling of frustration compounded by looming uncertainties around your employment prospects every single day. For some of the part-time students, the challenge came as you planned your weddings or changed diapers at midnight while keeping up with professional commitments as you became a student all over again. Now open your eyes. Here you are in your purple pride, most of you literally in your magnificent purple Northwestern regalia, with your dream jobs in your favorite cities, blessed you have financial security and good health, as millions grapple with the loss of it today. This is the fruit of your hard work, a testament of your determination and a manifestation of your dreams through the undying support and unconditional love of your faculty, program staff, friends, mentors, communities, and of course, parents and families who have joined you to celebrate this milestone, some from the comfort of their homes and some from the heavens above. Today, I want to talk about my grandmother, Nanna, as I lovingly called her. Nanna was a scientist and lived alone for several years after my grandfather's untimely demise. But the void in her life never got to her, for she spent her time teaching and educating the young daughters of her household help. Nanna passed away in 2013, but her legacy remains alive in these girls who continue to study. The elder of the two siblings aspires to become a teacher today, so she can give back to her family and community. Nanna was compassionate and empathetic. She was an enabler and inclusive. She was human. Her small act of humanity steered an entire generation of family away from becoming the next generation of household help. This is the power of humanity. It transforms lives. My fellow graduates, we are graduating at a crucial time in modern history. The global pandemic has exposed our broken healthcare systems, and prevalent disparities in societies are more conspicuous, staring us in the face. Be it India's migrant crisis and escalating hostilities against Indian minorities, or the plight of United States in the wake of police crimes against African Americans and Blacks. The world is plagued with a humanitarian crisis and challenged with a global pandemic as we speak. It not only begets our attention, but also calls for remedial measures and recalibration of our ethical compasses. Dear class of 2020, being a Northwestern graduate is a privilege that we have rightfully earned. The MEM program has enhanced our skills, and Northwestern has gifted us an illustrious network. With unparalleled skills, widespread network, and a compassionate heart comes the power to bring the change. This power that rests in our hands today is both our reward and our burden. Fellow graduates, we are entering the world at the cusp of a new era whose trajectory will be defined by the actions we take and the decisions we make. Be it at your workplace or mere social gatherings, I hope your words, thoughts, and actions reflect inclusiveness, compassion, empathy, and warmth. And when at a crossroads in life, unsure of what to do, I hope you pick the side of humanity. For it's not the straight A's that you will be remembered for, or the fancy jobs that you go on to take, but how you stood up for humanity when others only stood by. And I'm sure you will rise to the occasion, because had it not been for the goodness in your hearts, MEM would have never felt like home, miles away from where we belong. So thank you for inspiring hope in me. I will also take this moment to thank Lauren. Hey, Lauren, what would have MEM done without you? We all agree that you're the backbone of this program, don't we? Yeah? Abby, we didn't spend much time together, but from the little that I've got to know you in the past few days, your kindness compels me to make up for that coffee I drank from MSIT's Saturday breakfast. It was a mistake, by the way, but I was not the only one, I swear. I'm also grateful to Professor Verrett and Steve for giving me wings and letting me fly, quite literally, to Grace Hopper in Orlando, where I got the job I love today. My Islanders, Azhar and Rashmi, how can I miss thanking you for being a blessing in my life? And last but not the least, Mom, Dad, and Azel, for reinforcing my identity of being a military kid every time I was knocked down. That rising to uncertainties and emerging victorious was the foundation of my being. Thank you for being my co-riders in this roller coaster ride. This one's for you. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, Fizza. That was beautiful. There's no doubt that not only does MEM create future leaders, I think it's pretty clear we've got leaders that are in the present day, right here, right now, right in front of us. So Fizza, I'm not surprised that MIT chose you to head up that design competition. You were the obvious choice. So well done. Thank you. Let's move on. Our next graduate is Maribel Lopez. Maribel is obviously was a part-time student. She's a December 2019 grad. Her concentration area was project and process management. She started the program in 2016. In March of 2019, she accepted a position as lead integration and test engineer with the Space and Airborne Systems segment at L3Harris Technologies in Melbourne, Florida. She's now part of the team that supports the new space race programs at the Florida Space Coast. With that, let's congratulate Maribel. Job well done. Next up is Nurbek Metzan. He was a full-time student, a December 2019 grad, who started the program in 2018. And he also completed the CSPO training, which is the Certified Scrum Product Owner training that we hold every year. Congratulations, Nurbek. Our next graduate is Aijazuddin Mohammed, full-time student, started the program in 2018. He also completed the CSPO training, which enabled him to intern at Dell. He's currently a technical product manager at WP Engine in Austin, Texas, which I guess is the same town that Dell is in, so seems very appropriate. Congratulations, Aijazuddin. Our next graduate is Peter Otremba. Peter started the program in 2016. He's currently a project manager with the Environmental System Design Organization. Congratulations to Peter. Our next graduate is Harini Padmanab. She's started the program in 2018. She was part of the MIT Design Pitch competition that we talked about earlier. She interned at Insight to Profit, and she currently works as a business analyst at Insight to Profit in Chicago. Congratulations to Harini, who, oh, by the way, was also receiving the project and process management concentration. Well done. Thank you. Our next graduate, I should say, John Parker, part-time student, December 2019 grad, started the program in 2017. He worked with fellow MEM graduate Dakota Murray to get McMastercard to donate a portion of their supply of N95 masks to local hospitals in Chicago to help with COVID-19. I'm sure there's lots of stories amongst all of the grads and how they're helping out with COVID. This is John's story. He currently works as a manufacturing engineer at Gray Hill Incorporated. Ironically, that was the role I played in my early career. So congratulations to John. Well done. Next up is Nishant Patel, full-time student, full-time graduate from December 2019, started the program in 2018. He was part of the Northwestern University Solar Car Team, otherwise known as NU Solar. He was also part of the Kellogg Energy and Sustainability Club, and he worked at the Garage, which is our entrepreneurial garage here on campus. He interned at Exelon and Clean Energy Trust. I worked with him extensively on some of his career as well as project aspirations in the clean energy space. He's currently a senior innovation specialist at Exelon based in Chicago. He was also part of the New Venture Energy class, I want to say about a year and a half ago. Congratulations, Nishant. Daphne Perez, part-time graduate, started the program in 2018. While in the program, she volunteered with Xylem Watermark. After starting the program, she was chosen to act as the subject matter expert on quality assurance for the company's ERP implementation project. She currently works as an issue to resolution business owner at Xylem, based in Seattle, Washington. She also got married in August, so congratulations twice over to Daphne. Next up is Lokesh Raj Raju. He started the program in 2018 as a full-time student. He participated, along with several others, in the Lake Forest Hospital project, which was focused on OR, or operating room utilization. He was part of the winning team in our MEMPC PRISM Business War competition that happened in 2019. He interned at Flex Ltd. He currently works as a senior supply chain analyst with Residio Technologies in Ohio. Congratulations to Lokesh. Prerock Rustagi, full-time graduate, started the program in 2018, completed his CSPO training as well. While in the program, worked as a research assistant within the deep learning lab and as a teaching assistant for Nuvention Analytics. Those are very difficult positions to get, by the way, especially with the deep learning lab. He interned at DocuSign, but currently works as a project manager with the Connor Group based in Santa Clara, California. So congratulations to you, Prerock, well done. Rohit Zalgankar is a full-time graduate who started the program in 2018. He qualified for the finals in the MEMPC Design and Pitch competition back in 2019. He was part of the winning team again in the MEMPC Pricing Business War Games competition. While in the program, he worked on the Lake Forest Hospital project. He interned at AbbVie, and he currently works as a marketing analytics specialist in AbbVie in the greater Chicago area. So Rohit, congratulations. You've done almost everything we had to offer. Well done. Nice job. I should mention too, he was a managerial analytics concentration major, so he was able to achieve that as well. Urvi Thakar, another managerial analytics concentration, full-time graduate, started the program in 2018. She too completed the CSPO training, but I would say she was one of the spearheading the students working on the Lake Forest Hospital. She was the main point of contact throughout that whole engagement. She also worked very deeply with the Center for Deep Learning. She was one of the pioneers from MEM doing that. She interned with Northwestern Medicine. She now works full-time as a systems engineer with Northwestern Medicine in Chicago. And I would like to say, almost for this reason alone, Urvi's experience, we've created now a concentration in healthcare systems engineering that is now going to hopefully create systems engineers for the healthcare space coming out of MEM for years to come. Thank you, Urvi. You've done an amazing job. Udbhav Travidi started the program as a full-time student in 2018. He too has the managerial analytics concentration. He also completed the CSPO, Certified Scrum Product Owner training. Currently works as in project management at Cognite AS in Houston, Texas. Congratulations, well done. Azamat Usanov started the program in 2018. He too completed the CSPO training. He was also working on the Lake Forest Hospital throughput simulation project. He too interned at Northwestern Medicine based at Lake Forest Hospital. And he now currently works as a systems throughput engineer at Lake Forest Hospital. So you can see that we are creating a pipeline of talent that the NMH and Lake Forest Hospital system is leveraging. Congratulations to Azima. Well done. Yunji Zhang, full-time student, managerial analytics concentration, started the program in 2018. He too completed the CSPO training. He interned with CapSim Management Solutions and Simulations. He works as a business analyst with CapSim now in Chicago. I think we should congratulate Yunji for a job well done. And oh, by the way, CapSim is run by one of our faculty members, Jeff Lefevre. So I think we should congratulate him again. Nice job. Our next speaker coming up is Jennifer Way. Jennifer is a December 2014 graduate. Obviously, as an alum of the program, she's held several jobs, but her current job is she's COO of Pear Chef, a booming startup based here in Chicago. I'm hoping she'll talk about it because I think during this pandemic, my guess is her business and several others are doing very well. Jennifer, I'm going to turn it over to you and let me stop sharing so we can see you as you speak.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Professor, and I think Executive Director now of MEM, Mark Orwett, for the warm introduction. I'm so honored and thankful to be here with you today. I was in the same position as a graduates, and congratulations, graduates of 2020 MEM program. I'm so honored to be the first one to welcome you to the wonderful Northwestern Alumni Network. But it was really just not to give ideas of my age, but really it was just 6 years since I was sitting in your same chairs in a virtual setting now. But I'm so thankful and honored to be here today. When I was thinking about how I wanted to allocate my time in my conversation with everyone today, I thought the best use of my time is to share with everyone the two takeaways and the two items that I wish someone had shared with me when I was graduating. So here we go. So number one, the first takeaway is that you will use your MEM classes in much more ways than you think that you will after you graduate. In my undergraduate studies, I took a very fun class, Math 234, multivariable calculus, and I can say that I really didn't use very much of what I learned in that class post-graduation in my careers. But I can say with extreme confidence that I have used something from every single class that I took in MEM in the 6 years after I graduated. I know that we're all coming from STEM backgrounds and we love data, so I want to share a concrete example. So the first class that I ever took in MEM was with Professor Mark Warwack, IEMS 416 Business Process Change. And one of the homework assignments that we had was to become familiar with Microsoft Visio and to create a process flow diagram and really understand the user interface of that software. When I was going through the assignment, I thought, hey, what a great skill set to add to my toolbox. I think this will be great on my resume, a great conversation piece in interviews. And I didn't give it really that much more thought. My first full-time opportunity after the MEM program was as a consultant at Accenture. The first client project that I was on, the client wanted to map business processes for their entire customer service department. So a light bulb went off my head and I said with my internal team, I think we should use Microsoft Visio for this project. The team loved it. We proposed it to the client was on board, and the project was a huge success. So that is a exact ROI and correlation of how I used what I learned in MEM. The second biggest takeaway that I wanted to share everyone is that I wish that when I was younger and right when I was graduating, that someone would have shared with me and defined the word opportunity and really explain to me how and what that word can mean. So what I have found is that opportunities can often be disguised in life as a task or a chore. And an example I wanted to share with that is right prior to my current role as COO at Perez, and I can go into the details of that later. I can stay on after the Zoom call if anyone has any questions about that. But right prior to starting this full-time role, I was doing consulting as part of my own practice. And one of my friends wanted to introduce me to an individual that in that moment, I did not see how that introduction would exactly align sort of what I was trying to do. I was very busy at a lot of meetings, and I was sort of hesitant about taking the meeting. But at the end of the day, I thought about it, and I said, why not? Let me go to this meeting. And what's really funny is the meeting attendant also shared with me at a later date that she also felt very similar. She was very busy. She also didn't want to come, but eventually we met up, and that individual turned out to be the CEO of Perez. We had great synergies, a great conversation, and she eventually asked me to be COO at Perez. So imagine if either one of us had said no and we had never connected, we would not be working together today and having a great relationship. When I share that story, sometimes I stop and think all the opportunities, right? Opportunities at the time where I viewed it as sort of maybe a task or a chore, all those items that I have said no to, what if I had said yes to? What could have resulted from that? And that mindset is what I really want to share with everyone here today, with the graduates, that your MEM degree is an opportunity. It is a chance to use this amazing knowledge and skill set that you've acquired from the program. You are now part of a world-in-class brand of Northwestern, and we have an amazing network this is an opportunity for you to really shape your life. And how that word is defined can be different for everyone. It can come disguised. And with those two big takeaways, again, I want to say congratulations to the class of 2020. I hope that you found those two items insightful. And thank you so much for having me here today.
Thank you, Jennifer. Very nice job. I think I speak for everybody. You definitely inspire us all. You remind me why I am and I want to be the director of MEM, because we have such great graduates like yourself. I remember how you took that job over at with Tony Belkin, right? So you had a lot of interesting connections to MEM and your career. I did never, by the way, I never did see that royalty check from Accenture. So, you know, you followed my prescription, right?
I'm gonna have to follow up on that for you.
In any case, you've done a great job, so thank you very much. I'm going to share my screen once again, and if you are going to stick around, you can stick around in the main room with me and perhaps with Professor Mohan Rao. We'll be in the main room if anyone wants to talk to any of the three of us, okay? So thank you. I'm going to share my screen once again. Our next graduate is Jonathan Beach. Jonathan started the program in 2017. While he was in the program, he volunteered at the Ronald McDonald House at Lurie Children's Hospital here in Chicago. He currently works at Javi, I should say. After starting the program, he was promoted to Innovation Director, leading a small team of engineers and designers located in the US and Europe. So congratulations to Jonathan. Well done. Very nice. Carlos Corrales Nogales, part-time student, design and innovation concentration, started the program in 2017. While in the program, he attended conferences related to AdvaMed, ASME, and computational modeling. He's done volunteer work coaching physics-based events for Science Olympiads at Hawthorne Middle School in Vernon Hills. He's contributed to the Industrial Advisory Board of the Society for Industrial and Applied Math. After starting the program, he was promoted to his current position of Senior Engineering Manager at Baxter. And I can say I had the privilege of having Carlos in one of my Nuvention medical classes just this last winter. An amazing student who did a great job in the Nuvention medical program, and he was a true asset to his team and to the course. So thank you, Carlos, for all that you've done for MEM. Hopefully we've done something for you. Our next graduate, Crystal Fialo Costa Jolly, started the program in 2018 as a part-time student. After starting the program, she received a promotion and still currently works at Mars Wrigley here in Chicago. She's currently expecting her first baby, so congratulations on two fronts. Very nice. John Luce, part-time student, started the program in 2017. While in the program, he worked on a project as part of a team that developed a business model for the commercialization of a Northwestern DNA synthesis technology that enables data to be stored in DNA. Imagine that, right? You talk about technological transformations, this could be huge. At work, he has transitioned to a supply chain management role. He too comes from Mars Wrigley here in Chicago. Congratulations to John. Dakota Murray, part-time graduate with the design and innovation concentration, started the program in 2018, currently works as an implementation manager at McMaster Carr, collaborated with fellow MEM graduate John Parker to donate a portion of her company's supply of N95 masks to local hospitals here in Chicago to help with COVID-19. Thank you, Dakota, for all you've done. Congratulations. Jagar Patel started the program as a part-time student in 2017. He earned the project and process management concentration. While in the program, he volunteered with Feed My Starving Children. At the end of the program, he was offered his current position as a systems verification manager at Shure. Now we will proceed to the, oh, by the way, we should congratulate Jagar for a job well done. Nice job. This is to transition now to the June 2020 graduates, starting with Ambreen Aijazuddin. Ambreen started the program in 2016. While in the program, she changed from a medical device engineering focused role to a strategy consulting role, all in the pharmaceutical space, right? She currently works at Care Fusion. Let's congratulate Ambreen. Nice job. John Bader started the program in spring of 2019 as a part-time student, transitioned later in the fall of 2019 to a full-time student, working currently as a systems engineer at Northrop Grumman. I spent some time at Northrop Grumman. I know it's a very intense place. I want to congratulate John for a job well done. Rohan Barawaj started the program in 2018 as a part-time student, completed his CSPO training as well. Currently works at GoGo, which is based in Chicago downtown. In September, he was promoted to senior program manager to lead development of new technology to support free Wi-Fi for all passengers on commercial flights. As people may know, GoGo supplies a lot of that infrastructure to airlines such as United and American. So congratulations to Rohan, nice job. Luke Jimenez is the only product management concentration we have. He was able to earn that because he was a June 2020 grad. He started the program in 2018. He's one of the few students who graduated with a perfect 4.0 GPA. And for that alone, we should congratulate him. While in the program, he was promoted to his current position of manager of product engineering at S&C Electric, which is based in Chicago on the north side, not too far from the campus. So again, congratulations to Luke. Brandon Shu, full-time student, June 2020 grad, started the program in 2019, was part of the Northwestern eSports Club, worked on the Schmidt project in fall of 2019. He completed his CSPO training and currently lives in sunny, beautiful California. So congratulations to Brandon. Ryan Kent, part-time student, part-time graduate, I should say, started the program in 2018, was the SAB finance chair. And if people don't understand or appreciate that, he spent a year basically keeping track of all the dollars spent by the student advisory board. So it's a difficult task. It's a task that isn't well appreciated, but we appreciate it, Ryan. Part of the winning team in the MEMPC Prize-In Business War competition in 2019. While he was in the program, he volunteered with the Museum of Science and Industry, Erie House Community Center, and Girls in the Game. He currently works as an electrical engineer and a project engineer at HBK Engineering, based here in Chicago. Congratulations, Ryan. Very well done. Jason Lee, who started the program in 2017 as a part-time student, has done a lot of volunteer work with Feed My Starving Children and Willow Creek Church and Ministry. He's participated in several dance performances for Yellow River Performing Arts, the Chicago Hong Kong Club, and also a Chinese Fine Arts Society. SAB Finance Chair, or Vice Chair, I should say, since 2018. He currently works at Siemens and received the promotion at the beginning of the year. Congratulations, Jason. Nice job, well done. And in fact, Jason is now our student talk for the part-time students. So I'm going to be turning it over to Jason here. I will stop sharing and then I'll let Jason take it from here. Is he here? Is he with us?
Hey, can you hear me?
We can hear you. Okay.
Great.
I like your outfit.
Thank you.
All right. Take it away, Jason.
Morning, distinguished MEM faculty, program staff, friends, family, and fellow graduates. It is a great honor to be here celebrating with all of you. You have changed my world and are the reasons I am here humbly to be sharing and celebrating with you today. To offer you a bit of background into what the MEM degree completion means to me, I will tell you a bit about my personal journey. I grew up in a neighborhood called Sanchong District in Taipei, Taiwan. At the time, it was the type of environment that required a bit of cleanup and help from the government. Both my parents worked in blue-collar jobs their whole lives. Growing up, I didn't see my parents often due to the work schedule. I was mostly on my own throughout the week, and I've always found money on the table for me to go out on the street and buy food for myself. I remember watching TV and envy seeing a different kind of lifestyle outside of where I lived in. Fast forward to early 2004, my aunt in Chicago offered me a chance to start over my life in America. At the time, I did not hesitate and took her offer as I desperately desired a change. By mid-2004, after completing 6th grade in Taiwan, I hopped on a one-way flight to Chicago with an electronic English to Chinese dictionary. In 2014, I became the first in my family to finish college and was offered a job in Siemens. From 2014 to present, I've had the privilege to make transitions from servers to software engineering and research and development, and now manufacturing engineering and supply chain management with Siemens Healthineers. In the past 6 years, I was highly involved in several nonprofit volunteering organizations. I enjoy serving communities through some of my hobbies, such as dance performance and food packing for the needy families. As my career developed with Siemens, I was intrigued and wanted to learn more about process and leadership within a technical setting. I learned about MEM in Northwestern through a colleague of mine, and since applied and joined MEM in the fall of 2017. Now in 2020, I will again set a new milestone for my family as the first to have completed a master's degree. I know many of you have also worked tirelessly for this achievement and waited for this day, and now it's finally here. Certainly not the type of celebration we've been hoping for and imagined. It may not be the type of in-person celebration you had in mind. However, we commenced at the moment, unlike any other in world history. The countless challenges happening around the world today are precisely why Northwestern's MEM has put together a team of world-class faculties and prepared future leaders like you and me. We have developed analytical thinkings and been given the tool through this astonishing journey with MEM to leave here and become what the world needs most, engineering leaders with vision and tenacity to face challenges head on. Like many MEM students, I had a full-time job while working for my MEM degree part-time. I understand how difficult it is to balance school and work. Therefore, I cannot even imagine what it was like for those that have family responsibilities while taking classes. Fellow graduates, our journey to this graduation did not come without sacrifices, challenges, and determinations, but we to persevere. We proved success to ourselves and those who may have doubted us. We should all be proud. Our MEM journey did not only help us achieve new heights in knowledge and skills, but it's brought us many valuable friendships. The kind of friendship that had us work with one another to a personal excellence. For some, late night hangouts, playing sports together, and even attending MEM's second Friday social nights. We are all going to miss all these great moments. In particular, won't we miss our favorite classes that kept us all night because of all the excitement and acquiring and digesting new knowledge? For some of us, including myself, who had a long commute to class, aren't we all going to miss those traffic hours and construction, snow, perhaps both? Some of us have shared meal in local restaurants, talk on the phone, chat over a few drinks in local bars in Evanston. I am genuinely grateful to have had all of you on this MEM journey with me. Being around such diverse talents at MEM never ceases to amaze me. Because of MEM, I was able to experience difference in values and cultures from all around the world firsthand through you. No matter where your life takes you after today, one thing is for sure, you will be faced with diversity. Open your mind to and your hearts, embrace the opportunity before you, meet the challenges with true form. The world is a fast-changing environment with many uncertainties. This is why we are MEM class of 2020. We shall thrive and take steps toward leadership for positive change. Thank you.
Thank you, Jason. Very nice job. Well done. So as working for somebody like some company like Siemens Healthineers, I can tell you that, and you can tell us that you've saved a lot of lives. Your company has helped save a lot of lives with the diagnostic equipment that in many ways is unique to what your company does and what only your company does. So I want to thank you for that work as well. But again, all the work you've done with charities and donating time, very impressive. So again, thank you for all that you've done. You're a great example of what we would love all of our students and graduates to become. With that, I'm going to share my screen once again. I'm going to go to the rest of the June 2020 grads. So again, thank you, Jason. Our next June 2020 grad is Sundar Natarajan. Sundar started the program in 2016. He attended something called TEMSCon, which is the Technology and Engineering Management Society Conference, which is run by the IEEE. He attended that in 2018. After a long career at GE Healthcare, he moved on to Tempus, which is a healthcare technology startup, all based in Chicago. Nice job, Sundar, and thank you for your participation with the IEEE. Well done. Our next graduate, Patel, was a part-time student, now a June 2020 grad with a focus and concentration in project and process management. He started the program in 2017, currently works at Northrop Grumman, right? Thank you, Pratul. Nice job. Ying Zhu was a part-time student, is now a June 2020 grad who started the program in 2018. While in the program, was part of the Northwestern Reading Club. She's been promoted to a current role that took her to Santa Clara, California at the end of 2019. Oh, by the way, she got married in the summer of 2019. So congratulations twice over for Ying. Nice job. And that concludes all of the graduates for the class of 2020 for the Master of Engineering Management. Let's give one last big round of applause for them. Nice job. I want to build on some of the things that were discussed by Professor McNeeley and even to some extent Jennifer. They were both talking about the role that engineers play in corporate America, right? And also, you know, some of the abilities and capabilities that engineers can bring to the problems at hand, the problems of the world, right? And what we are uniquely able to do. I want to introduce you to the founder of Zoom, Eric Yuan. This is possibly a story you're not aware of, but he's a very recent, I guess you would say, he's exploded onto the scene in terms of being famous for what amounts to a career spent in video conferencing, right? He started as an engineer coming out of China. He was the founder of the Zoom platform, but he spent much of his career at WebEx, right? He was educated in engineering in China, came to study business, of all things, in the United States, right? He applied 9 times for his visa to the US, which means he was denied at least 8 times, right? He worked for WebEx from 1997 to 2011, long enough to become the VP of engineering. So this man was a very strong engineer. He still is, right? He understood video conferencing possibly better than the company he worked for, right? His frustrations with WebEx grew to the point where he left the company and founded and launched Zoom, which is the platform now that, oh, by the way, the entire world seems to be leveraging in every dimension, from government to education to just day-to-day, even courts are run on Zoom now, right? And he launched Zoom in 2012. Zoom had an increase of average daily usage from 10 million users in December of 2019 to now more than 300 million users. And all of that ramp happened in 90 days. That's a 30x explosion in growth in 90 days, right? He always told his people he wants a scalable platform, and he designed his platform for scalability from the beginning, right? So as an engineer, he understood the need for, you know, instant scalability, and he was also very customer-centered, so he knew exactly what his customers were looking for. He knew this industry, but he also knew what was missing, and he brought what was missing back to the industry, even if he had to leave his company to do it, right? Zoom's market cap has grown by 220% in this year alone. And this year is only, what, June, right? So in 6 months, it's grown 220%. The ability to be in the right place at the right time. So Professor McNeeley talked about skating to where the puck is going to be, as opposed to where it is. And why is that? Because there's a lag time, right? By the time you get to where it is, it's not there anymore, right? The ability to be in the right place at the right time with the right solution is not a matter of luck. It's not a matter of luck. It takes a commitment and a focus and a drive and a combination of technical and business skills to truly make a positive impact on society. His mantra and obsession at Zoom always was a focus on the number 150. What does 150 mean? In his industry, 150 milliseconds of latency is the threshold by which a user of the Zoom network will acknowledge or recognize a lag and be dissatisfied with the service, okay? He forced the architecture and the design of the system to fit within that 150 millisecond window and envelope. Tell me a business person who doesn't have an engineering background how a business person alone would be able to figure that out. Not likely, okay? That amount of latency will lead to perceptions and video lag, and he was obsessed with that number. His ability to focus his organization on that number and on optimizing the experience of his customers has made him a billionaire. Now, not necessarily overnight billionaire. He started this almost 10 years ago, but clearly he is an example of what engineering management can do to help society and to be the right solution at the right place at the right time. From this place in time, you will all move on to your various life pursuits. We want to hear from you. We want to understand and hear about the progress of your career. Please keep in touch with the MEM program office, your colleagues, and the contacts that you have made during your career here at Northwestern. These contacts will be one of the most precious resources for you in the months and years ahead. Please remember to join the LinkedIn groups for MEM and the Alumni Network for NU. These are your portals to help you negotiate the career in front of you. With that, I do want to acknowledge a few people. First and foremost, I know Steve Tilley is on the call. I want to thank Steve for his many years of service to MEM, the tremendous work he did with the students, how he helped me over the years. He helped me be a better director. I think he helped the program become a much better program. And all I can say is thank you once again. I know you're not too far away, but it feels like sometimes that 1,000 yards or whatever it is much longer than it should be. But thank you, Steve, for all that you've done. Let's all give him a round of applause. Thank you, Steve. And events like this don't just come together on their own. Our current MEM program office staff, Abby and Lauren, we recognize and appreciate everything that you've done, especially this year and especially for this event. Let's give them a round of applause. I know, let's just start with a round of applause for them. Thank you. Nice job. I know at this point that Lauren wanted to say a few words, so I will stop sharing and let her take it over from here. And then I think Abby wants to say a few words. So Lauren and then Abby.
All right. Hi, everyone. So first of all, major congratulations to all the graduates. I'm so happy and proud of you guys. So I started here right before the fall of 2017. And so it's been really exciting to see some of you guys who kind of started the program at the same time that I did, graduating now. So you guys have, occasionally thanked me for different things, like, while you've been in the program, but I have to say truly a thank you to all of you guys as well. Thank you to everyone who helped me while I struggled to set up food in time for like last class pizza or the CSPO training. And also just thank you all for being so patient and understanding while, we just worked through issues together that came up. We did our best, and luckily we were able to get you guys all to where you are today. Rather to help you get there. You guys did it on your own. So I don't have too much to say, just that it's been so wonderful working with all of you. And I've loved being any help that I could possibly be for you guys to achieve this goal of finishing your degree. It's a great accomplishment, and I sincerely wish you all the very best and hope you stay in touch afterwards as well. Congratulations. And also, because I can never have your attention without making an announcement, please make sure your current addresses are updated in Caesar, because we would love to be able to send you guys the gifts that we have for you, the university's gifts, and you can email me your updated address at MEM. So congratulations and thanks, you guys.
Okay, nice job. Thank you. Thank you, Lauren. Abby.
All right, so Abby Shea, for those of you who haven't encountered me in the MEC suite offices, my office was always right next door to Steve's, so we may have encountered each other there. Currently, clearly my office is not there, it's here at home. But I wanted to congratulate all of you again, of course. A few announcements, nuts and bolts. We'll be sending an email on Monday with how to get your transcripts, when will you get your diploma, how to keep in touch, all of these pieces. And as Lauren noted, addresses are important. But primarily, we want to just stay in touch with you, And I've had the pleasure of meeting some of the MEM students, and I've just grown more and more impressed with the program and all its offerings and the students. So happy to be a part of the admission this year. And don't be a stranger. That's really the biggest message. We are here for you to help you navigate life as an alum at Northwestern. So stay in touch. But finally, congratulations most of all.
Thank you, Abby. Nice job. Okay, with that, I want to leave you with one last quote from Warren Buffett. In the business world, the rearview mirror is always more clear than the windshield. Navigating by blazing a forward-looking path is always the more nebulous, but also the more courageous, potentially the more impactful way to pursue your life. Blaze your own path. Be proud of your heritage. Be proud of your school. Be proud of your MEM degree. Be the quantum change that lies ahead for all of us and help the world navigate this transition to the new normal. With that, I want to thank you all for attending our celebration. Now the graduates can reference the program where the links to the breakout sessions with your various favorite professors are located. The professors are invited to open up those rooms, those Zoom rooms. Thank you again for attending. For those who want to either meet with me or Professor Mohan Rao, and I believe Jennifer is also going to stick around in this room, stay in the main room and we'll be here. Thanks again for attending. Stay safe and may you always live in interesting times. Thanks again and congratulations to the graduates. Okay, with that, I'm going to play a Pomp and Circumstance again. And I will allow, of course, anyone who needs to leave to go to the other rooms, please go ahead. So thank you again. Okay, I am going to stop the stream. Thank you all for sticking around. I guess Professor Mohan Rao, if you wanted to say a few words, I will turn it over to you while I figure out how to stop streaming. Mohan, can you hear us? I think you need to unmute. Okay, I've stopped streaming, officially stopped streaming. So there you go. Mohan.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yep, we can hear you. Nice.
Okay, wonderful. First, that was actually a really lovely ceremony, given the very unusual circumstances. So Mark, thank you very much for organizing that, and for Abby and Lauren as well. And it's really good to see so many people join. I thought Jennifer did a terrific job. In fact, one of the key things that I have always found in my own career is just simply people often are not looking for opportunities, and because they pass you by, but you're not sort of you don't have your radar to be focused on them, and as a result, most people just simply let them pass by. And so I think what Jennifer said in terms of being cognizant of the opportunities when they come up, because you never know where they lead you. In fact, most of the major things that happen in our life are often serendipitous. They're not planned, right? And so I thought that was really a very good insight to pass on. Is just simply always be on the lookout for opportunities. This year, Nishant, I got to work quite extensively on a number of things, some very interesting pharmaceutical projects, both for Epsilon, but also Mark, she's been involved with Expression Therapeutics, my biotech company, and actually helping with collaboration in China. And so she was very instrumental in that. So it was really fun to work with her, beyond our interactions in the classroom. So it's really good to see her here also.
Yeah, I know she was always looking forward to working with you, so I'm glad she actually got that chance and that opportunity. Fantastic. All right, thank you, Mohan. I know Amjad is with us. I should have acknowledged you earlier, Amjad. I'm sorry, but there were so many participants. Did you want to say a few words as well? You might have to unmute, Amjad. No, here you go. Okay.
Right. Okay. Yes, it's a great program. I really enjoyed it. I never thought that this virtual graduation will be so interactive and so personable. And I was going through the screen, like all the graduates, and I'm so excited to see. And it just brings some old memories, like when one of the students brought the candies to the class. I see, like Urvi and Jigger and all my class. It's just like I'm reliving that MEM 407 with this team. So happy to see you. And I wish you all the best. And just remember, I'm only a LinkedIn or email away. So if there is anything, like I'm not the super genius on anything, but at least I'll guide you to whatever I know. So if there is anything relates to career, professional, anything, you know where to find me.
Wow.
Again,
You're still local, right? You're still here in Chicago, right?
I'm still here, only a mile and a half from Northwestern. So and you're welcome to stop by too. Very close to Kabul restaurant. So if you ever,
oh, I love that place.
I'm just a stone throw away. So
okay, perfect. Thank you.
All right, very
All right.
good.
Any questions or any? I guess I want to throw the floor open to Jason and to anyone who wants to ask questions to either Mohan.
I just wanted to back Johnny.
Sure, go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead. So
I think, Urvi, were you about to say something? It looks like actually maybe there's an issue with the signal.
yeah, Urvi, I think you're muted or something, maybe. You might need to unmute.
Well, Urvi is figuring that out. Actually, I wanted to find out more. Jason, it looks like what you're doing is really interesting. Can you just say a little bit more about the specific job?
You mean the work we do at work?
Yeah.
Okay, so in Siemens Healthineers has quite a few number of business units. The one I'm specifically in is called molecular imaging. And we focus on developing and manufacturing SPECT and PET CTs. These are what we call functional imaging devices, and they're best to use for scanning cancer cells. The way it works is we inject nuclear radioactive materials into patients and smoke those and turn the patient into a radioactive source. And then our detector goes ahead and scan to collect gamma rays. Then we turn the signals from analog to digital and then send it into our image construction systems. Then that's how we come up with all the kind of like 3D see-through image. So similar technology to what we do would be MRI. We also have a business for MRI. So instead of using radioactive source materials, MRI just use electronic, magnetic electronic waves. It's a lot more effective and safer because you don't really inject anything into the patient. However, there's a compromise. You have to compromise a lot in the quality of the image. So physicians many times will have to decide whether to use a CT or MRI or other available systems out there, or ultrasound. So far, molecular imaging system has been one of the highest quality in terms of image qualities. However, again, there's always a small risk in injecting different dosage of radio source into patients. And what we're working on is how do we increase the quality of the image dramatically at the same time to reduce the dosage. So it's been the same technology for the past few decades. However, we're always working on reducing the dosage and increasing the image quality. So it's more of like a, what do you call this? More of an evolutionary process rather than a revolutionary.
Interesting. So is the main benefit just simply higher resolution at lower radiation, but is there a duration? Is there an early detection advantage as well?
So our scientists are also working in the, so for us engineers, we're kind of in the Horizon 2 in the, Horizon 2 business process where we just focus on the next step, incremental improvements. Our scientists are pushing the boundaries, which is like 10 or 20 years beyond type of project where they're trying to identify ways where we can actually get ahead to become more of a preventive scans. So right now we're kind of starting to see some promising results where our scans can kind of have some, we also have AIs that work within our system where they can detect the scan data and give us a prediction on what are type of the symptoms we will observe or type of illness we will observe through some of the early stage, I guess, signs that you get through the imaging. Because our quality of image has reached to a level where it's so good that you can nitpick little things here and there of the signal from the radiation and kind of turn that into a type of data that you can actually use for healthcare purpose.
Really interesting.
When we took a tour of Health and Nears up in, you're in Barrington, right?
Yeah, so Hoffman State. It's at the border of Barrington and Hoffman State. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, across the street, you're in Barrington. Okay. I remember bringing some students there, and I also remember the Genesis story where you guys came out of the, I think, starting with the Manhattan Project, right? People from the Manhattan Project in the 50s decided to use this same technology in medical diagnostics, and you guys have been in the diagnostics field. In parallel, I guess GE did something similar, right? So you guys have this constant rivalry, if you will, between GE and Siemens, right?
Right.
But this is big ticket stuff. Your equipment is not just sitting on the shelf. No. It's not a commodity by any means, right?
They're quite expensive. I think there's some orders where I looked it up. It's like a solid 8 figures.
Yeah. And it's built to spec. It's not built to shelf, right?
Right.
So every diagnostic piece of equipment is designed and built for the organization, the healthcare system that's producing it, and they have very specific needs, all the way down to how it's tuned and how it's aligned and how it's optimized for specific disease profiles, right?
Right.
Which I found amazing. So
with food for thought, we also have to order some like highly radioactive sources on the field for our field service technicians to tune the system before we hand it over.
So is this why Hoffman Estates glows in the dark?
We order a lot of sources, that's for sure.
Okay. Well, I don't want to live in Hoffman. I mean, I'm a little bit cautious that way, right?
Most of us are radiation trained because there's a need to deal with those sources.
All right. Got it. Okay. So Neha, you've been working with Professor Rao. You got to catch me up. It's been so long since I've talked to you, it seems, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I just sent a message and I'm like, we definitely need to catch up after this. This time wouldn't be enough. There's so many thank yous I have and there's so much gratitude I have. It's just, I'm like usually camera shy, but today I just feel like I want to be here. Like, let's just stay here all day. And I got a regalia, which is at least 2 sizes bigger than I have. So I'm just trying to make it look presentable at the same time. But it's so much excitement. And thank you so much for joining us today and for organizing this as well. I think I was a little bummed about not being able to meet everyone in person. But then once everyone, oops, that was my Alexa.
See, you got too much technology, right? It follows.
Yeah, I think I'm spending a lot of time with just technology now, and just virtual assistants, and I was also bummed about not being able to visit family as well. But I think it just this just made up for all of it. And thank you so much again for organizing this. I think it's just I just feel very speechless. I think the whole program, summing it up in one sentence is really hard. I think I just came into the program with a completely clean canvas, and then there's so many takeaways with it, not just professionally, but just in terms of watching other people lead. And I think that I'm definitely gonna have a lot of takeaways, and I'm gonna use not just the classes, but everything, all the qualities that I've got from not just the faculty, but the students, and watching them lead teams in the program. So that's been an amazing takeaway from me.
So, I mean, I've got so many Neha stories, but my favorite was when I asked the class if anyone would like a pass to the various museums in Chicago. I can get them in at no cost. I mean, this is a no-cost pass, right? You just take it up and you get in for free. You were the only one interested. Out of like 30 students, you were the only one who said, "Oh, I'm interested." You were sitting right next to me, and I handed it to you. And 60 days later, I asked to get it back, and you gave me all these stories about all these museums you saw and the Art Institute. I mean, do you remember that?
I definitely remember that. And that was the first interaction. That was the first time we met. I still remember the conversation. It went like, you told me about, this is a card I have. Would you like to try it? And it was pretty casual. And then I just took it, and I just went around all the museums in the area, and then came back with it. I'm like, I made full use of the card. I don't think you need to go with this. I think I've just like made sure that I visited all the passes this card covered. So it was really good. I think it was really just nice to see everyone interact in the classroom and outside the classroom setting as well.
That's great. That's great. Fizza, you made an amazing speech. Very nicely done. I mean, I'll never forget your leadership. I'll never forget when I went to MIT thinking, well, I'm going to see a team compete from Northwestern. This will be fun. I'll spend an hour or two, and then I'm going to see Boston. I never did see Boston. And I got so enraptured with what the teams were doing. And then during the MC was you. I mean, I saw you up there, and I was like, this is cognitive dissonance. It's just like, I'm not at Northwestern. How is Fizza running this thing, right?
It was a beautiful experience, and I think I came with Northwestern without any plans. And I didn't know what I wanted to become. All I knew was I wanted to move to the business side, and it was so nice that everybody nurtured me and helped me find my way. Like especially Lauren, because I was so confused about how many courses I should take, which course I should enroll for, and all my decisions would be last minute. And she was quite patient with that. And you guys really helped me go to Grace Hopper. And that was such a beautiful experience. Like I've met so many people that I'm still in touch with. It got me my job. It was amazing. It was like a trip of a lifetime. So thank you so much for being so invested. Professor Rao, I know you cooperated a lot with me because my internship was starting early on. So thank you for giving me the liberty and having faith in me to give exams remotely. I wouldn't have been able to.
It was really a pleasure to have you in the class, and then I mean she played a similar leadership role in the class as well, despite simultaneously trying to do an internship.
Yes, so thank you all for being such an amazing family. It didn't feel like we were alone in this journey. And if there's anything I can do as an alum, I will try my best. I don't know what I can. I'm still finding my way. But the little I can do is just give back in a meaningful way. So just reach out to me if there's anything I can do to help you.
Oh, it was great having you in the program. I mean, there are some students that just stick out, and obviously a lot of the people here, that Jennifer stuck out when she was a leader when she was in the program, and then you just see the velocity of their careers when they leave. These leaders just take off like a rocket, and it's just amazing to see them before, during, and after, and to see not really so much the transformation, but kind of the embellishment, right? Just the fact that the acceleration that I think MEM does provide, right?
Yeah.
Jigar,
yes, sir.
You're shaking your head, so
yeah. I just wanted to thank you to all. I learned a lot I started back in 2017, and ever since I learned everything, every new things, business perspective, and thank you for all the guidance, all the support. I grew myself a lot and made a great friends during these transitions, and I had to finish it because my two daughters are about to go to college in 3 years. So
Oh, wow. I did actually, I didn't realize. First, you don't look old enough to have two daughters, who are about to go to college. And I actually didn't realize that.
yeah, so yeah, thank you. But yeah, I overall, it is a great journey for me. And from the professional standpoint, I grew a lot. And at the same time, I made a great friends. So thank you for everything that you guys provide me here. It was a great experience. Thank you.
Thank you. I mean, it's great to have you in the program. I guess I was going to ask, how has MEM impacted all of your careers? I mean, is there something tangible that you can point to?
Yeah. So when I started MEM back in 2017, I was a software lead. And after that, after a couple of courses and showing my project management, product management experience at Teradyne, they recommend me to take a lead on project lead. And I was managing the whole project instead of just the software side of it. And after that, it was, I was always trying to move myself, push myself a little bit further, and got an opportunity to work in a company called Shure. And it's a private owned company, and it's a great company to work with. We may not make a big product like Jason's job do, Jason, but hey, we make a great stuff. If you guys have seen the Super Bowl last year, Jennifer Lopez used our XN Digital, which is the flagship product. So we were proud of her to using our product, and it came out great. And that's what we do at Shure. So I'm thrilled and always trying to push myself and learning a lot.
So I'll plug your products for you. There's a Shure desktop microphone that runs on USB that runs about $60 on Amazon. I'm using it now. So if you like the quality of my voice, consider investing in it. In a time of COVID, everyone who meets you through a camera and through a microphone. So if you don't have the best of each, if you don't have a solid internet connection, you're only transmitting, partially what you could be, right?
Yes, sir.
I guess I'm thinking, who else was, Jason, we've checked in. Jennifer, any last minute words, anything that comes to mind as you're remembering your career?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's the first I have right now is just, it's very dynamic times that we live in. And then thinking back on my career, I think there's been so many changes. Just to give everyone a very quick rundown, I did my undergraduate in Northwestern as well. After I worked in oil and gas, after that I worked in Motorola. Then I went into MEM. After that I worked at Accenture, then here, then a Blackstone Group startup. Then I did my own business, and now I'm at Perez. So it's been a journey since MEM. And I think, with these times, this is going to be sort of the environment. I think the current generation, there isn't that sort of anxiety with changing roles anymore. I think in the past, maybe, you needed to do sort of like a, 2 to 3, 4 years in a job before it was really, sort of the right decision to move on to a new role. And now I think it's such a dynamic environment. And I mean, I think it's great because I think that the learning that you get from a role really takes place in the first 3 to 6 months. I think it's a very, very, very steep curve, and then it gradually sort of plateaus out. So I've really enjoyed every place I've worked at, all the learnings. So I'm open to any questions that anyone has as well about what I'm currently doing now or anything like that. I'm working in food and beverage, so that's the best. I think the best time to work as COO in the food and beverage company. I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, it's feast or famine in that industry, right? I mean, if you've got if you're consumer facing, as opposed to those that are business facing, then you're doing very, very well. And you're obviously consumer facing, right?
Yeah, so we're B2B2C because we sell to the property managers in real estate of apartment buildings, and then they allow us to service their residents, which would be the consumer part. And just for everyone on the call, just to understand, so I work at Pear Chef. It's PEAR as in the fruit, CHEF.com. And basically what we do is we place a private chef in apartment buildings, and residents can order to the chef through an app. And not only do we offer sort of a room service amenity in real estate, but we also are a one-stop shop for sort of all culinary experiences. So we'll also help the property management team plan parties, also new resident move-in gifts. So that's essentially what we do.
So I happen to know that Mohan's family is very focused on food allergies and allergy sensitivities and things like that. I can only imagine that Pear Chef would be the perfect solution so that you have one single point of contact. You know, if I'm gluten sensitive, if I have, you know, celiac disease.
I was going to take it out after the showing. Or
wouldn't it make sense to engage with Pear Chef and bring them?
This is just temporary. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my kids are very severe food allergies, so we're always, Jennifer, we're always extra careful in the control of food. You know, from reading obviously ingredients very carefully, but typically not touching anything that where it's not sort of known. And so for us, typically all around the world, either the chain stores work. So if you go to McDonald's, you know, whether it's here or in you know, it could be in India or it could be in Paris, you know, the McDonald's is McDonald's. So their process is, you know, very standardized, right? So you don't have to worry about whether, you know, the oil they're using is a peanut oil or something like that, you know, or cross-contamination. Or you can go to really very, very high-end places because they understand and, you know, there's more space in their kitchens and they can segregate things and they can customize and they're used to it. It's usually, you know, in between that is where it sort of falls off. And so we can easily go to Corner Bakery or Panera Bread or something because, again, they're sort of, they're just standardized. And so that's where I've come to appreciate standardization in food service. You know, prior to that, it was really not on my radar. But standardization makes, you know, reduces risk because there's less variance in the process. And so once you know, sort of trust the process, then hopefully it reduces the risk, you know, of what the output looks like.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think that in sort of the food and beverage space right now, there is a lot of movement to standardization. There is definitely, I think with the environment that it's become also very, very competitive. If anyone on the call sort of has utilized delivery services recently, I'm sure you can sort of see the trends with sort of pricing, because now, you know, think of all the revenue loss. Like right now, we're in phase 3, sort of in the environment. I think outdoor patios, right, are open, right? But they can't do indoor seating right now. So think of the revenue they generated prior. And now, you know, some restaurants and businesses don't even have the capability to do the outdoor patio seating. And then the ones that do are also, you know, trying to think really quickly of ways to generate additional revenue to sort of be where they were at pre-COVID. And this is actually, you know, this is a very unfortunate thing, but at the same time, not to tie it in with that too, but also an opportunity, right? If someone here on this call has a great idea to really how to accelerate sort of a business in the F&B space, this is sort of the time to deploy your product, because people out there are very, very concerned about the state of their business. So those are my thoughts around that.
My favorite Jennifer story is I'm at a football game and I'm sitting next to Tony Belkin, and he's telling me that he needs help on the operations side. Tony was at the Here Corporation, but I knew him from 3 other companies before that. And I knew that Jennifer was sitting like 3 rows in front of me and 2 seats to the right. And she had just told me like 2 hours earlier that she was looking for a new position, right? She wasn't,
80 hours a week and traveling, sometimes 2 to 3 times a week.
She was not a happy camper, right? She wanted a new camp. So I said, okay, let me think about it. And that was probably the most efficient pairing, different spelling, pairing than I've ever done before.
That was very clever.
Within 3 hours of, you know, her telling me that, I was able to say to Tony, look, you need to sit with this lady, Jennifer Way, and just give her, you know, half an hour and tell her what you need. and if she's not the solution, I'll buy you a drink, right? I never had to buy him a drink. In fact, he had to buy me a drink because the bottom line was, I think he almost hired you, if not on the spot, shortly thereafter, right?
Yeah, it was.
Shortly thereafter.
It's a quick process. Yeah, it was. That's another really big takeaway. I guess if I had if I really, I think that making the most of the opportunity. I mean, I remember I was a part of the student advisory board when I was in school, and that was actually the first football game that I attended where I wasn't sort of working. So, my mindset was, I want to have a good time. I actually want to have a couple of beers at this event. So when I was talking to Tony, it's that shift where you realize, oh, this is an opportunity. The ability to sort of just pivot, shift your mindset, and really sort of, engage in the conversation. These are things that are going to happen in life. And I think that it's very important to recognize that those opportunities are out there at the most just unforeseen times. So thank you for doing that, Mark. I really appreciate that. I think that really catapulted my career. So thank you.
As somebody who wants
one parting thought, Jennifer just mentioned beer. I'll tell you my favorite story from all my years at MEM. A few years ago, we hosted an event for MEM at our house, and many of the people on this call probably are too young to have been there, except Mark was there. So we had a caterer, and then including and we had a bartender, and they had catered sort of the usual portfolio of drinks that they have. And we've done this with many events before, and so this is a group that pretty much had done that at our house, and so they were sort of familiar with it. So anyway, so this bartender, maybe 45 minutes into the event, comes to me and he says, these people only drink beer. They don't, normally, because they stock a portfolio, and apparently usually they stock with vodka and gin and so on, and then of course wines, and then beer actually turns out to be a minority. And except he says, I don't understand this group. All they want to drink is beer. And so my wines are not moving. my vodka and gin are not moving. And so I said, that's because they're engineers. So he said, do you have any beer? And so as it turns out, I don't drink very much beer, but I had some. So I brought that up, gave it to him. And then 15 minutes later, he says, that's all gone too. So that's when I realized, engineers consume very different alcohol than non-engineers, and it appears to be beer. So since then, whenever we've done events that had more technical people in there, I would always tell the bartender that hey, make sure that you overstock on beer. But that was a really fun event. We were actually at Mark, in fact, Steve Tilley. And I talked about it, Mark as well. We're thinking we'd host something, sometime this year, and then of course, all the shelter in place kicked in. So hopefully, Mark, maybe once we get out of that, that would be a fun thing to do. Is host an event where we can all bring people back.
I'll never forget that event at your house, Mohan. First of all, it was amazing. It's rare that faculty host students, certainly at that scale. We must have had 2 or 3 dozen. I'm forgetting, maybe 30.
I don't recall. Yeah, we had a really good turnout.
Very good turnout.
Yeah.
And Mohan,
it was a really fun evening.
Yeah, I mean, Mohan, you live in Kenilworth, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
Kenilworth. So if you don't know Kenilworth is it's a unique community within Chicago, and the houses are just gorgeous. They're almost, I would say, museum grade, museum quality. And it was a great experience. That night was very memorable and enjoyable. I'd love to do it again.
But by the way, just so you know, we're helping bring the average. We probably brought the average down in Kenilworth quite a bit by just showing up here. So.
Wow. Okay. I think we've been joined by Carlos. Is that your son, Carlos? Or
yes, I wanted to say hello. This is Diego. It's my son.
Welcome.
Hey, Diego.
Good to have you.
How's it going, everyone?
Good. So where are you at, Diego, in your education career?
I'm going to be a senior at Vernon Hills High School this next semester.
Great. Excellent. Are you looking at math or science or engineering?
Oh, I'm not in this field of STEM at all. Every single call we've been on regarding to this graduation, everyone's like, so, are you in bio? Are you in, no, sir. No STEM for me.
Okay.
We can convert him. Someone on the STEM.
We've had dinner table, like long dinner talks have gone through trying to convert me, but not quite.
What's your field of interest? What do you?
I think that'd be more of like my undergrad major is probably going to be cello performance or conducting. But that's mainly a big part of it is to get a scholarship, but I want to take the LSAT after. So I really like public speaking. I do a lot of like politics, like club stuff in my school, and I'm hoping to take that route, poli-sci.
So there's one person that we've got a lot of great politicians that have come from Northwestern, right? So yeah, I can give you some names of people that if you want to contact, just Carlos, send me a note, and I can hook you up with alum that have done very well through Northwestern in the political sphere, right? So excellent. Good luck. Where are you going to school?
Well, Vernon Hills senior year, so I'm still yet to figure out where I'd commit for college.
Okay. All right. Well,
and then similarly, Diego, I work with a lot of law firms. If you ever want to, talk to lawyers, the senior partners at law firms, let me know.
Thank you. Noted. Because those are things entering my senior year, almost being an adult, I need to start getting actual exposure to. So that's great. So, yeah.
I mean, my sister's a lawyer. She went to Northwestern Law.
Oh yeah, actually I forgot. Right, that's right. So you don't have to go very far.
Yeah.
And she's been at some really huge firms.
Yeah. No, my advice is if you want to work in a large firm, you want to make the big dollars, you're going to have to go to one of the best schools. If you're not in one of those top tier schools, in Chicago, there's only really U of C and Northwestern in that top tier. And actually, depending on what you want, if you want more corporate law, probably Northwestern. If you want to do more judge or those sorts of things, regulatory, then probably U of C because they have
corporate branch seems more of where I'd like to go. I mean, grad school is a ways away, but Northwestern would be a great goal.
Right.
Yeah, also now you're a legacy baby.
Yeah, I almost have to now. Yeah.
Yeah, the person I was going to refer you to is Samir Mayakar, who was actually the founder of Synode, which came out of Nuvention Energy. He was a Kellogg grad. Then he got into politics, and he's on Lori Lightfoot's staff. He's the, I guess, the assistant mayor, first assistant mayor. And he was actually at the graduation ceremony yesterday for all of Northwestern. He gave a very nice talk. Very good talker, but also a very, very good, not really engineer, business person, somebody who was able to keep his business going for almost 10 years and very, very politically connected as well.
Sounds diverse. Wow.
Yeah, Samir Mayakar, very interesting guy.
Very cool.
Hello, everyone. Before hopping out, I just want to take a minute to thank everyone and just the amount of opportunities that we've got in this program. And like you mentioned, the number of connections that you make after the program are just vast. Like it's innumerable. And if I hadn't been to Northwestern, I wouldn't have found out about Mohan's vision of just making commercially viable medicine available for hemophilia. And I think these are the opportunities that you go to school for, go to grad school for. And I think it was amazing the way he shared his vision with me, and then the challenges that the market is coming across and how he's trying to tackle those problems. So I think that's something I always am on a lookout for, just the humble mentorship and leadership. I think that's what pushes us forward. So I just want to thank everyone to just opening these up for us and giving us such a great exposure for this program, through this program. Thank you.
So Neha, thank you. Are you still in Evanston, by the way? Do you still live there?
I'm in Chicago. I moved to a really nice neighborhood, which had a lot of good restaurants and bars, but everything just closed down. So that lasted for a couple of weeks. I'm hoping to just be able to see it again. And every time Mohan and I chat, we just keep talking about how it's just been so different. His leadership has changed drastically. He used to travel a lot earlier, and we were just recently talking about how it's just so peaceful for him to be able to just take calls at home. So I think I'm just looking at the positive side for work from home, and also at the same time, can't wait to go back to work and just go back to the office. at the same time. So there's just both goods and bads, but it's really good to see everyone just connected, and I love Zoom for that as well. Like, just having us all together at the same time. And thank you again, Lauren, for organizing this and sending us out the emails and making sure that we follow this through. And thanks, everyone.
Well, thank you. Thank you all for coming. I think it was great to have you all here. I'm sorry, Mohan, did you want to say something?
No, I was just going to say, it's truly a pleasure to have all of it. It's our privilege. This is why Mark and I do this. So.
Yeah, in fact, I'm thinking we should have more Zoom sessions in the future. These are not expensive to put on. They're not that difficult to coordinate. And if we have a speaker, maybe a speaker and maybe some Q&A afterwards, and then socializing after that, it might be a good way to keep the community bonded together. So I've got great stories from all of you. Carlos, the great work you did over in Newvention Medical. Jason, the time we visited, Health and Ears and all that. It was an amazing trip. So I've got all these great stories. Carlos, I mean, my God, I don't think your team could have survived in Newvention Medical without you. You were like their superstar engineer, right?
I mean, I've been doing this for a while, is it? So it was very interesting to see. I'm going to say Newvention was very eye-opening because it gave me the perspective of how really you can do things very quickly in a small team where decisions are taken super fast compared to the gigantic mammoth of a multinational corporation, is it? That was the eye-opening. Now I understand why startups can move so quickly, can be so agile, can be so customer-focused, and then product-focused as well without all the processes and things that are in a company as big as Baxter, which I think is also why, Professor Rouse, look for new therapies. It's also very agile. Is it a company as big as Baxter or AbbVie, it really struggles a lot to move things forward because there's just too many things around us. I mean, they're from the right reasons in some cases, but overall, it's just too slow. Is it? You cannot move things quickly like that.
Which is why I prefer my career in academia versus my career in industry, because I can see progress in 10 weeks here. And it was very difficult to see progress in 10 weeks in industry, even with the fastest, team around. You're right, the bureaucracy, the testing, the overhead that goes with any kind of project, you can get almost nothing done in 10 weeks in most of the industries I worked in. I mean, nothing deliverable. You can get maybe progress on a milestone chart, but it's hard to get progress from the view of a customer, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Jason, I know it's like 100 degrees in your room. Have you cooled off yet?
I'm trying my best. I had to take off the hat. I just can't take it anymore.
Yeah, don't pass out.
Yeah, it's a hot day. So
of all the days like today, it just doesn't work anymore. I'm in a big building with 357 units. And for some reason, the central AC just stopped working for all.
Oh, wow. That's not good. And you probably have sealed windows, right?
Yeah. We have very good insulation too.
Oh, wow. So guess what? That heat just stays in there, doesn't it?
Yeah. Concrete wall and then all the filling in between.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So hopefully good for baking.
Without your oven, right? I was going to wrap this up at 11. So if there's anything else you guys want to say, I want to thank you all, Nihad, Jason, Carlos, as well as Jennifer, Mohan, and Lauren. Again, thank you, Lauren, for pulling all this together. You did a great job. Abby did a great job. Last words, Lauren?
Just like, it's been great. Jason and Carlos, you guys are two people who started in 2017, the same time that I did. I remember seeing you guys in orientation. So I'm like I didn't want to like shout out the specific couple students. So I was like, I know the 4 of you people who are, but like, yeah, you two were some of the people who started the same time I did. So it's really exciting to see you guys graduating. But yeah, Neha, of course. Jennifer, thank you so much for joining us. Mohan, thank you. It's been great. And thank you, Mark, also. You worked really hard on this too, so I appreciate all your help. Yeah.
Exactly. He's the chief. So.
Yeah. Most of my work at the last minute. My work builds on everybody else's, right?
Congratulations on your promotion.
Ah, thank you. Yes, I'm going to be executive director of the Office of Professional Education.
Yay! Well deserved, very well deserved.
And when I figure out what that is, I'll send you guys an email.
Yes, let us know.
Part of the inaugural.
Jason and Carlos, congratulations again. It's really something to celebrate.
Yep.
Take care and good luck.
Congratulations, guys. It's 11 o'clock, so thank you all. John Luce, you came just in time for us to say we're breaking up. Did you have anything you wanted to say?
Well, great to see you.
It's good to see you. I guess we'll have to unmute you here. Hold on, let me unmute you. John, welcome, but we were just about to break up. Anything, any words of wisdom or any questions or?
Thank you. Sorry, I've been trying to jump around between calls, but wanted to get a chance to say thanks to you, Professor Werwath, even though we didn't have a class together, got to enjoy your leadership and insight throughout the program. And
right.
Professor Rao, really enjoyed the finance class. So thank you. I hope to keep in touch. And I often kind of reference our materials and just subject matter from the class. So it was definitely a highlight of the program for sure.
Thank you. And I look forward to staying in touch. And if there's anything at all I can do, that's true for all three of you, just let me know.
Great. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I look forward to keeping in touch.
Same.
John, congratulations again.
Thank you.
It's true for me. If there's anything we can do for you, either as a program or even just as a person, a connection I can make, an introduction, what have you, let me know. And certainly let's get together on LinkedIn, and hopefully we'll have more events like this you can plug into.
Great. Sounds great. And Lauren, just want to say thanks for everything you've done. Program wouldn't be the same without you. And we started around the same time, and it's been nice to see you grow in your role there. And then, yeah, finally, Jennifer, thanks for the comments today. I think we are connected on LinkedIn, so we'll keep in touch there.
Yes, everyone stay in touch, and congratulations. We're all very, very proud of you, and welcome to the alumni network of Northwestern. You have an excellent brand now behind you to support you.
And an excellent network to leverage. So take care. Have a good weekend.
Thanks for everything.
You too. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.